Breaking Liverpool news. Wayne Rooney questions Arne Slot's aura at Anfield. A bold verdict drops on Trent's transfer future, and fresh updates emerge on Van Dijk and Allister. Are big changes coming at Liverpool? You don't want to miss this. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Liverpool update. Wayne Rooney claims Arne Slot lacks Liverpool aura, and delivers firing verdict. Wayne Rooney has claimed Arne Slot doesn't have the aura to be Liverpool's head coach and believes the Premier League winning manager will be fired if the Reds fail to secure a top 5 finish. Former Everton and Manchester United forward Wayne Rooney has suggested that Arne Slot lacks the charisma required to be Liverpool's head coach, predicting his dismissal if he fails to secure Champions League qualification. Slot, who last season led the Reds to a record-equaling 20th title during his inaugural campaign, is the latest in a line of 10 managers to guide Liverpool to championship glory. However, this season has proven more challenging, with Liverpool grappling with a raft of new signings and significant injuries. Currently occupying 6th place in the Premier League table, the Reds have lost only 2 of their last 19 matches across all competitions, advancing to the last 16 of both the Champions League and FA Cup. Despite these achievements, Rooney contends that Slot lacks the necessary presence for a Liverpool manager, even suggesting that a lack of improvement in the team's lead position could lead to his dismissal. It's strange, isn't it, when you're talking about Slot being on an audition to keep his job when he has obviously recently won the Premier League, commented the former England international. I have met him a couple times, but I just don't think for Liverpool he has that aura. And maybe that's because Liverpool have just come off the back of Jurgen Klopp as manager. It's difficult for anyone to do that, but I just don't think there is that aura about him. I have spoken to managers, and I know they can be difficult at times, but if he doesn't get them top 5 in the Premier League, he will be gone, for sure. It's crazy to say when he's just won the Premier League. During the latest episode of the Overlap fan debate in association with Sky Bet, Rooney also dismissed claims that Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah should bear the brunt of Liverpool's shortcomings this season. Van Dijk and Salah, which I've been vocal about this season, may have lost a yard or two, but they are the 2 leaders of the team, he stated. The players they have lost around them would make it very difficult for any side to win the title. That should not count against Van Dijk and Salah. You got Trent, Alexander-Arnold, who's missing. Andy Robertson hasn't played a lot of games. Luis Diaz left, and the Diogo Jota situation. Even Darwin Núñez brought something. He wasn't great, but he brought something. Liverpool have lost a lot of players, so it is sort of rebuild period. For me, Salah is one of the Premier League's greatest of all time, and Van Dijk will be in the conversation as one of the best. I don't think he is the best ever, but in this generation, he is certainly the best center-back. Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher, however, remains confident that Slot will still be at the helm next season. Arne Slot will be such a better manager next season off the back of this season in some ways. He said, "That's what I keep thinking, because I don't think it is all his fault. Any manager now managing the squad, with Salah not being the same player as before, Van Dijk not quite the same player as last season as well. The squad's not that big or balanced. I'm not sure there would be a manager out there getting loads more out of the squad, if I am totally honest." Liverpool have 5 games to make Premier League statement, as 2 players near return to Liverpool squad will return to the AXA training center today after some well-earned rest, and ahead of a key period for the Reds. Liverpool's players return to training today with perceptions and expectations having very much shifted since the start of the season. But there will now be renewed determination and belief among Arne Slot's charges. A difficult campaign, clouded by uncertainty and disappointment, can end with a silver lining. The Reds' boss gave his squad several days off after they responded to the demoralizing late defeat against Manchester City 10 days ago, with a hard-earned 1-0 Premier League triumph at Sunderland, followed by Saturday evening's 3-0 FA Cup 4th-round success at home to Brighton. It may well prove, if not a pivotal week in Liverpool's campaign, then certainly one of the most important given the examinations that still await. Evading the Champions League playoffs has given the Reds 2 free midweeks ahead of what could be a busy run-in toward the end of the season. Slot will hope rare extended time spent both away from the AXA training center to recharge batteries, and then at Kirkby to work on fine-tuning tactics, can be well spent. One matter surely on the agenda, is a propensity to start games slowly that was again evident at the weekend. Remarkably, the Reds have still only scored once in the opening 30 minutes of any league game since September and none in the last 10. They've leaked 7 in the same time period, but only 2 have come since November. But that steady approach has proven beneficial, with Liverpool having lost only twice in 19 games in all competitions, with those 2 defeats coming deep into additional time. After 9 losses and 12 during the autumn, the Reds have become much harder to beat and, since the return of Mohamed Salah from the Africa Cup of Nations, are a much more potent threat going forward. There will continued focus on bringing Jeremy Frimpong back to full fitness to ease the issues at right back, while ramping up Alexander Isak's rehabilitation. The £125 million striker would have envisaged matters having gone differently during his debut Anfield campaign, but can yet become a welcome attacking option when the schedule intensifies next month. Liverpool have at least 15 games remaining. They will hope it is much nearer 23, given that total would mean progress to the finals of both the FA Cup and Champions League. While the Reds will only discover on Friday week which of their 4 possible opponents, Juventus, Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid, and Club Brugge, they will face in next month's Champions League round of 16. They know Wolves must be overcome in the FA Cup 5th round ahead of those 2 ties, just a few days after a Tuesday Premier League visit to Molineux. That forms one of 6 away trips in the top flight that starts on Sunday with a clash at Nottingham Forest, whose 3-0 victory at Anfield in November was a nadir for Liverpool this season. Indeed, Slot is yet to beat Forest as Reds boss. In a quirk of the fixture list, all 6 remaining home games are against London sides: West Ham United, Tottenham Hotspur, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and, on the final weekend, Brentford. 3 of Liverpool's last 4 games may come against the teams immediately above them in the table, with the Anfield clash against Chelsea sandwiched by trips to Manchester United and Aston Villa. The challenge now is to ensure those matches count in the battle for Champions League qualification. And with all 5 of their Premier League games between now and the late March international break coming against teams currently in the bottom 7, Liverpool can give themselves the platform for the final push. Tortuous and desperate may have been at times, but this season is far from over for Slot and his players. Alexis Allister change now clear at Liverpool, as transfer worry won't go away. Alexis Allister has been in much better form for Liverpool, but transfer talk is persisting for a reason. When it comes to playing games in football, the action is never restricted to just on the pitch. And even though there are 4 months until the summer transfer window opens, debate over the future players continues to dominate the headlines. Alexis Allister found himself at the center of the latest rumor this week, with claims Manchester United are looking at a potential move for the Liverpool midfielder, that the bitter Northwest rivals haven't done any direct transfer business since Phil Chisnall swapped Old Trafford for Anfield almost 62 years ago indicates speculation is almost certain to remain just that. But that such talk has been given credence has perhaps been possible given Allister's indifferent form for much of the season for Liverpool, having struggled to regain full fitness and sharpness after the injury he had nursed during the closing stages of the title-winning campaign under Arne Slot. Allister was voted by his fellow professionals among the best Premier League players after building upon his impressive debut term at Liverpool. Having been employed first as a sole defensive midfielder and then a more attacking force under Jurgen Klopp, Slot reverted him to playing alongside Ryan Gravenberch in a double pivot with the Argentina international, having forged his reputation at Brighton operating in a similar role alongside Moises Caicedo. Despite, particularly during the opening months of this season, understandable concerns over his match sharpness, Allister has sat out only 2 games, injured for the Premier League win at Newcastle United in August, and then rested for the League Cup triumph against Southampton the following month. Of his 37 appearances, 29 have been as a starter, indicating Slot still regards Allister as one of his most trusted lieutenants despite the obvious dip in performance leveled during the second half of 2025. Say the November week in which a Champions League winner against Real Madrid was followed by an assist against Aston Villa. The turn of the year, though, has witnessed a marked improvement. After 2 assists in the FA Cup win over Barnsley came a brace in the Champions League rout of Qarabag, while his increased durability is evident by his outing against former club Brighton in the FA Cup on Saturday, being the 5th successive game in which he has played the full 90 minutes. Similar to Dominic Soboslai and Ryan Gravenberch, Mac Allister is approaching the final 2 years of his contract, with discussions having taken place over a new contract. Talk of interest from United, as with that in Soboslai of Real Madrid, won't harm any attempts to negotiate a salary increase. But now 27, Mac Allister seems the most likely to consider a move in the summer, particularly having previously made clear the appeal of playing in Spain at some point in his career. Real Madrid have long been touted with interest, and another good World Cup with Argentina in the summer would bump up Mac Allister's value further and make him an even more attractive proposition to the Spanish side, who rarely allow themselves to not be linked with top players. Liverpool and Slot have made clear the continued importance of Mac Allister this season, with the Argentine pivotal should the Reds salvage tangible reward from a difficult campaign. But if he moves on in the summer, it will far more likely be to the Bernabeu than down the other end of the East Lancs Road. Wayne Rooney makes Virgil van Dijk feelings clear after awkward Liverpool meeting. Wayne Rooney has been embroiled in a war of words with Virgil van Dijk throughout the season, with the former Manchester United star making his feelings clear on the Liverpool captain. Not for the first time this season, Wayne Rooney has pointed out Virgil van Dijk's perceived flaws and claimed the Liverpool captain is not as sharp as in previous years. The former Manchester United striker and Van Dijk were involved in a high-profile disagreement earlier this campaign, with the pair engaging in a back-and-forth war of words, which culminated in an on-screen meeting after November's Champions League victory against Real Madrid. Rooney claimed Van Dijk had made costly errors in the previous weeks and questioned the defender's leadership qualities and body language. There was also an implication that the Dutchman's hunger had been dampened somewhat by the lucrative new contract that he signed in April. Those remarks infuriated Van Dijk, who, after coming face-to-face with Rooney on Amazon Prime, told him live on TV that his criticism had been over the top at times. So Rooney's decision to highlight what he sees as further weaknesses in Van Dijk's game was bound to draw headlines. The ex-Everton man said the 34-year-old, along with Mohamed Salah, appears slower this season, and that he is not the best centre-back in Premier League history. With Liverpool and what has happened since last season, Van Dijk and Salah, which I have been vocal about this season, may have lost a yard or two, and they are the two leaders of the team. Rooney said in the latest episode of the Overlap fan debate, the players they have lost around them would make it very difficult for any side to win the title. That should not count against Van Dijk and Salah. For me, Salah is one of the Premier League's greatest of all time, and Van Dijk will be in the conversation as one of the best. I don't think he is the best ever, but in this generation, he is certainly the best center-back, so you cannot hold that against those two players. Rooney also spoke about his feud with Van Dijk last week, and implied the Liverpool star had taken his comments earlier this season too personally. I think Virgil and other top players need to remember that we were once players too. This is not something new. It happens, and I'm sure he'll realize that when he stops playing. Rooney said on the No Tippy Tappy Football podcast, Virgil van Dijk will know himself if he's had a good game or a bad game. No one's having personal attacks on players. It's an opinion, what you see. I've been through that probably a lot more than Virgil van Dijk has been through it. That's part of football. Players now get the benefit of all the commercial things they do, and they earn a lot of money from doing that. They need to understand that pundits have opinions. Sometimes, pundits can go over the top, but as a player, you're judged on performances. Liverpool news. Trent Alexander-Arnold handed final transfer verdict as United plot raid former Liverpool player Alexander-Arnold star for Real Madrid at the weekend as talk his future heats up. While all eyes are on who Liverpool will be looking to recruit this summer, the club have been rocked by rumors that one of their star players is being monitored by bitter rivals Manchester United. Liverpool enjoyed a summer spending spree that included shattering their transfer record twice. The record was broken with Florian Wirtz first and later with Alexander Isak. Their expenditure also included £79 million on Hugo Ekitike, £40 million on Milos Kerkez, £29.5 million on Jeremy Frimpong, and £26 million on Giovanni Leone. The Red season has not gone to plan so far. However, Arne Slot's side are still in the Champions League and FA Cup, as well as in the hunt for a European place. And adding players to their stunning summer outlay will surely be on their mind rather than stripping the club of major assets. Today's roundup sees Liverpool forced to deal with the reality that United are interested in Alexis Allister. In other news, Real Madrid manager and former Liverpool defender Alvaro Arbeloa has spoken out on the future of former Red Trent Alexander-Arnold. Manchester United United are plotting a shock move for Alexis Allister. United are in the market to sign a new midfielder in the summer transfer window, and Allister, 27, has been identified as a potential target. The Old Trafford hierarchy are thought to be keeping a keen eye on the Argentina World Cup winner, who has 2.5 years left on his contract at Liverpool. Speculation is built around Allister's future at Anfield, with the ex-Brighton star enduring a tough season, which has seen him fail to live up to his usual lofty standards. There have been several cases of players who have played for both United and Liverpool in their careers, including Michael Owen and Paul Ince, but not one has moved directly between them since 1964. That occurred when Phil Chisnall made the controversial switch. Trent Alexander-Arnold's future. Ex-Liverpool star Alexander-Arnold appears to have been reassured over his future at Real Madrid. The fullback gained his second assist for Los Blancos at the weekend since signing for the club last summer. Arbeloa, who played for Liverpool from 2007 to 2009, replaced Xabi Alonso as Madrid manager last month. The Spanish Giants have won all 5 of their league fixtures since. Madrid beat Real Sociedad 4-1 at home at the weekend in a display that saw Alexander-Arnold flourish with a series of trademark passes. The defender was making his first start since December 3rd, following an injury layoff. Speculation has been rife that the former Reds right back could leave Madrid in the summer after just one season. Some reports even stated he was told he was free to look for a new club. However, Arbeloa has given Alexander-Arnold his verdict. He has claimed that Madrid wants players of the Liverpudlians' quality. He seems very, very intelligent to me. He understands the game quite well and quite quickly, Arbeloa said following Saturday's win. He's not the typical fullback who's always out wide. He'll also be playing a lot further inside. In our system, we want players like that.